Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What's your
I
name?
might not stay for long. My name's Ashton.
Nice to meet you, Ashley. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I was just wondering, I heard you say women are inferior to men.
Yes.
I've never heard that take before, so I wanted to know why you would say that.
Sure. When I say that women are inferior to men, what I mean by that is that we're superior. And what I mean by that is that the world and everything that we've come to pretty much learn to love and enjoy was created by men. Women don't really provide the same level of structure and innovation that men do. 90% plus of inventions that we've been able to, modernize the world with were created by men. Men lead, women follow. Now, this isn't to say that men have inherent more. This isn't to say that men have more value, like more life value. Obviously, we're all human. We're all equal in that regard, right? When it comes to dignity and humanity, etc. But when it comes to the responsibilities of a society, being the leaders, being the protectors, men are superior in that regard, and the things that matter. And I'd take it a step further. I think the reason why we need to be superior is because women are subordinate to us, and we are responsible for protecting them, right? I don't think women should work. I don't think they should be focusing on, getting an education, getting a career. Though I do understand we're in modern times and inflation is tough. I don't have a problem with a woman pursuing school and a career, but that should take a back seat to finding a man and creating a family, and then leaving the workforce as soon as you're able to do so.
Sure, okay, but the word superior is implying better than, right? You say that men don't have more value, but you are better than women because
that's
you
a fact.
Lead things.
Yes, we're physically superior. Most geniuses are men. Most inventors are men. Men are just better than women at almost everything.
That is not true. That's how society was set up over a long period of
Okay,
time.
what are women better at men than?
Emotional intelligence.
Define emotional intelligence.
Understanding other people's emotions. Being emotionally aware, providing with support. And this is proven. I've taken leadership classes about effective leadership, and women are more effective leaders when it comes to emotional needs. Men are better at meeting logistical needs, and that's why we need both and women to succeed.
Okay, so then
that is true.
Why isn't the world female run then, if that's the case?
Because men typically meet those leadership needs, which is why.
Because we're better leaders.
Maybe so, but that doesn't mean you're superior. You
we
might
are
be superior.
By definition,
leaders.
you're superior. If we are better leaders, we're superior.
At keeping the human race going. Women who give birth. We're much superior at.
Well, you need a man to do that.
Right.
So that's that's not women by themselves. You need a man to have a kid.
Absolutely, you do. But
yeah,
women are the reason why children exist. Without women giving birth, children would not exist.
Well, you need sperm to do it. It's a two-part thing. It's not something that's exclusive only to women. You need a man to do it. But there's many things men can do that women simply can't.
And there's things women can do that men
can't
have
kids,
do.
but you literally need a man to do that too.
Right, but you
and
need
men are
both
physically
to
superior.
Succeed.
What's
yeah,
that?
and women are superior in so many other ways, as I
like
just
what?
said.
Emotional intelligence?
Yes, it's true. It is literally proven. I wish I could tell you the study off the top of my head, but I just literally took a class on this, and it is proven. That's true.
Being able to be more emotional, when you're getting your cramps during your period, doesn't mean that you're superior. I would argue that's
insulting and is not what I'm saying. Emotional intelligence, I mean, if you are someone's manager, you can understand where they are coming from to better meet their needs, to come to a solution of a problem.
So why is it
that
most women prefer male bosses then?
I would disagree with that.
Most women, when polled, prefer male bosses.
Well, because maybe men are natural leaders, which is okay.
There you go, which is why we're superior.
And I'm not debating that men are natural leaders, but that does not make you superior.
But if we are better...
There's no correlation there.
By using the word better, you're implying superiority.
Leader is one thing in life. How many things can you be in life?
We're better than you guys at everything.
How many things are there to be
We're
good
better
at
than you guys
in
at
life?
sports. We're better cooks. We're better cleaners even. Men run sanitation.
Better cooks, better cleaners.
Oh, the best chefs are all men.
You're just like...
The only thing women could really do that's better is maybe make a sandwich. But if we got like a top chef to do it, he would still probably win. If we're going to be honest,
people are individuals.
What was that?
People are individual people.
Of course, but I'm speaking in general.
I might be a better cook than you. Well,
that's your job.
You just said men are better cooks.
Well, yeah, at the pinnacle, male chefs.
You can't even
at the
keep
pinnacle,
your facts
male
straight.
chefs.
Look, yeah.
At the pinnacle, okay, of chefs, they're all male dominated.
Okay.
And I think like women should be cooking, so it's not really like my job. But even when men go into a field that is female dominated, we're better.
That's not true.
I just
I'm not going to
demonstrated.
entertain this anymore, but that's not true. I feel bad for you.
You feel
Have a
bad? You
good
couldn't
one.
refute anything I said. Yeah, that's pretty much, that's feminism for you guys.
And thank you for getting up to the mic for our.
Yeah. No, the good sport. I know she was nervous. Thanks for coming on. What's up?
I watch a lot of your stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
I
Very
appreciate that, man.
entertaining.
Thank you.
All of what you've done with Sneeko and
Yeah.
Zerka. And the biggest thing that you do is you get people to think differently, which
Absolutely.
is something
Appreciate
that
that.
everyone can have admiration for. What are your thoughts on the T app? This is something that it's come out recently.
Oh, yes. The one that was like
it's
exposing
anonymous,
guys.
exposing. There's women in the T app now, like a women's version now. I'm curious to think what you have to say about that.
No, I mean, the T-app demonstrates the insane double standard we have in society where women are able to objectify men with no consequence. Meanwhile, men are not able to objectify women, right? Or especially when women objectify themselves, if we're going to be honest. These girls dress like sluts, then expect you to, respect them. It's like, it's ridiculous.
There's a male version now for women.
For women?
So it's a two-sided thing.
Yeah, when did it come out? And it didn't...
It's been this is all recent within the
Okay.
last year.
The thing is that, because there's many different, reiterations of this. Like, Facebook came out with it before where it was like, oh, are we dating the same guy, etc. Like, so the reality is that women are able to criticize, compartmentalize, and attack men with very little, consequence. But, like, for men, like, you can definitely get fired from your job, get in trouble, whatever it may be. Like, it's okay to, punch up on men like a piñata, but it's not okay to do it on women. As a matter of fact, this is why so many women are delusional, is because they never get criticized, right? So, and that's another thing too, I think, is that I think women live life on easy mode, especially in 2025. They have more advantages. They have more opportunities than men do by far. Okay, all right. I guess, anybody else want to come up to mic? If you guys agree, disagree, want to make a point, want to have a talk. The topics are, we could go anywhere. ICE did nothing wrong. Women are dumb. Jews control America, and that's not good. Muslims are terrorists. I don't know.
What do you think as far as like building a brand, a self-brand? Do you think it's really important for young people to get into that? You've obviously done that, and all these people in your relationship group have done that. What would you say is the biggest thing you notice about like people like, all these influential people, Zerka, Andrew Tate, Sneeko, the people that you're around? What's a similar trait that you notice about all of them?
The number one thing is authenticity. Authenticity. If you're authentic, what's going to end up happening is a lot of people are going to be able to relate to you. If a lot of people can relate to you, they're going to trust you. If they're going to trust you, they're going to like you. Then if they like you, then they're going to want to watch you. So this is why, like, I, call a spade, whether it's, I use slurs, right? It is what it is. We all know what words I'm talking about. We're on YouTube, so I try to keep it somewhat clean. But yeah, like, that is the number one thing, is authenticity, especially in today's day and age where so many people are fake. So that's the number one thing. And this is why guys like me and Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, Sneeko, all my buddies, that's why we've all been able to be fairly successful. Now, with that said, it goes to a level because you can't become like an A-list type celebrity or be like super huge while being base. It just can't happen. You'll get clipped. You'll get banned, right? Because Andrew Tate took over in 2022. What'd they do? They banned him everywhere, right? So, which, by the way, I know you guys have been asking me. Andrew's going to be in America soon. He'll come on the show. Don't worry. Okay? So, man, I hope that answers your question. But authenticity, brother, is the main thing.
Yeah. I have a disagreement now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. So I trust you heard about the firing of Kingman Lee, the conservative commentator on Twitter, over his posts.
What was that?
You know who Kingman Lee is, right? The South Korean conservative commentator.
No.
Okay. So he's a guy who worked on a college campus. Oh, sorry. He's a guy who worked at a college campus but was fired for his posts, some of which were pretty funny. He said fat people shouldn't exist, and they said that was like a calls for genocide or some shit. But other posts were like about how we should repeal the 19th Amendment. That's only, I don't think he should have been fired, but that's not something I personally agree with. But
I think we should repeal the 19th. I don't think women should have the right to vote. I agree.
Do you think you could explain why?
Why? Okay, so my position on the 19th Amendment, which is the right to vote for women, basically the reason why I think we should repeal it is because, well, number one, women are single issue voters, right? They don't they vote typically for whoever's going to let them be a whore and kill babies. Typically, is what they do, which tends to be Democrats. Number two, women have no skin in the game. I find it absolutely preposterous that women are able to vote for the commander-in-chief who runs the military, who can send us to wars, but they have no skin in the game and don't have to go to war because men have to be in the selective service. A bunch of students here probably got loans or financial aid or whatever. That financial aid was contingent upon you guys being in a selective service, I'm sure, especially if you're a U.S. citizen, right? See a couple guys nodding along. Mm-hmm. So I find it preposterous that women are able to vote without having skin in the game, right? Now, we could take it a step further, right? We could say, well, a lot of guys are stupid too and they shouldn't vote, which I would actually agree to that. Maybe we can impart like a civics exam or something like that before people vote. But I think with women, it just doesn't make sense, and they don't have skin in the game. Now, if she joins the military, gets some kind of government service or whatever it may be, then we could talk about that. But I'm a firm believer that if you don't have skin in the game, you shouldn't have a seat at the table.
Yeah. Well, if the state is going to impose force on citizens, no matter who they are, through taxes and threatening force if they don't pay the taxes, wouldn't you say that women, along with everyone else, has a skin in the game?
Yeah, you can make that argument, but they don't have the same skin in the game as we do. They might pay taxes and stuff, but they don't have the inherent skin in the game when it comes to serving in the military, which is what the president is.
Okay.
Right? The most important, political figure in the country.
Right. Well, are there any other ways that they could have a skin in the game without necessarily serving in combat, like serving as nurses or stuff like that?
I think if they join the military, number one, I think it should be one standard. I don't think we should water down standards so women could get in, because I think this whole woke ideology of let's focus on inclusivity versus performance, I think that's a very bad mantra. And whether people want to accept it or not, I think China is one of the biggest. Well, the biggest threat to America is Israel. But once we handle the Israeli problem, oh God. Once we handle the Jewish/Zionist problem, then we could go ahead and focus on China, because I think China is rapidly expanding to a significant degree. Meanwhile, we're over here fighting wars in the Middle East for Israel, right, which is a big problem. We've been not focusing on the Far East, where we should be putting our resources. So,
you say that we should be more like China. Well, I'm pretty uneducated.
Well, no, not be more like, but like combat them.
Oh, okay.
Their growing influence and power.
Okay, well, do you think that's in part with how they treat women? Do you think they treat them like better or lesser than they do here? Like, not in terms of how do you say, like humane in a humane way, but just like an ethical way, like in terms of the country standards.
Well, they're not as poisoned. I mean, feminism is seeping everywhere, but they're not as poisoned by feminism as we are here. Which I would argue, feminism is the root cause of almost every problem in every society. Right. Because what ends up happening is so feminism used to be about equality between the genders, but now what it's become is a superiority between the genders in favor of women. But the problem is that we're giving women the favor when women aren't better than men at anything. Okay. Right? So it's like the analogy I'll use is like, let's say you have like a kid or whatever, right? My buddy Elijah always says this. Elijah Shaper, shout out to you, man. If you have like a kid, right, and they make like this painting with their fingers, right, and it looks like crap, but they give it to you and you're like, oh my God, this is so great. That's kind of how it is with women. Oh, it's so great that you're getting education and stuff, but do we really need someone else that has a liberal studies degree? Like, does it matter? Like, what is this? Or underwater basket weaving? Doesn't make sense. So that's kind of how I view women in the workforce and everything else like that. But but feminism it tells us to like encourage that. Like, yeah, like totally make that finger paint picture and let's go ahead and say it's awesome and it's Picasso, even though it sucks.
One last question. In China, like they have like a quote unquote like freer market as long as it benefits the state, right? Mm-hmm. And if it goes against the state, like whatever private company operate in China does, then the Chinese government immediately liquidates all of their assets.
Yeah,
right?
that's a problem.
Yeah. But
this is why capitalism is so great.
Yeah. But would you say that like feminism in China kind of works in a similar way, where the female empowerment is meant to go towards the state and not towards the individual? And would you say that's like more of what feminism is here in the United States?
Great point. Yeah, that's a communitarian type style, right? Which I don't think works for the most part. I think that's like if you want to be like able to like make money, this is why people love America so much and come here, even though like, you know, we have all the problems that we have. People come here because of the financial opportunity in the capitalistic society that we have, where if you're willing to work hard, you can get ahead here, right? There's no excuse to not be successful in America. And other countries, unfortunately, don't have that. But yes, that style of governance is, you know, whether it's Marxism, socialism to a degree, communism, like tends to lean more on like how women operate. Because one thing I've noticed about women, one of the biggest differences after talking to like 3,000 to 4,000 different girls on my show is women have a difficulty with understanding hierarchy, right? So like with men, right, if a guy does, you know, the best guy, okay, you did the best today, you get $10. You did the second best, you get $8. You did the third, you get $7. With women, it's like you get $1, you get $1, you get $1, you get $1, regardless of performance. And I think that creates inherent problems as well. But this is because hierarchy is not really a structure for women. Because like for us, right, I'll explain what I mean by this. For men to get laid and get sexual access, we must rise up to the occasion, right? We're on a college campus right here, right? Who gets laid the most? The athletes, the frat guys. Why? Because they have status and they're on a hierarchy level. So a regular girl that no one knows, has no friends, can go to a, you know, college party here, meet one of the top athletes at one of these parties and one of the top frat guys and get smashed because her hierarchy doesn't matter to the male, to the male. But the male's hierarchy absolutely matters to her. So this is why women don't have a fundamental understanding of hierarchy, because it's not required for them to procreate like it is for us. So we inherently know, you know, you walk into a room with a bunch of guys, if there's a multimillionaire in there or a guy that has some type of status, all the guys naturally respect that guy and defer to his authority to a degree. Women don't operate that way. When they walk into a room, it's kind of like everyone's equal, yeah, you know, unless like one girl's fat or whatever, that's a whole other conversation. But they don't understand hierarchy when it comes to competence. It's very difficult for them to understand it because they don't have, their ability to procreate is not contingent upon their position within the hierarchy versus ours is. So we have to be cognizant of it at all times.
All right. Thank you for answering my question.
No worries, man. I hope that answered.